So let's talk about feeding and eating disorders. According to the DSM-5, feeding and eating disorders are characterized by a persistent disturbance of eating or eating-related behaviors that results in altered consumption or absorption of food that impacts on physical health or psychosocial functioning. People with eating disorders often struggle with body image and disrupts their normal activities with unusual eating habits to alter their appearance. Eating disorders can be genetic or caused by psychological issues like coping skills, control issues, trauma, family trouble, or social issues. Each type of eating disorders has many possible causes. The essential feature of pica is the eating of one or more non-nutritive, non-food substances on a persistent basis over a period of at least 1 month. Typical substances ingested tend to vary with age and availability and might include paper, soap, cloth, hair, string, wool, soil, chalk, talcum powder, paint, gum, metal, pebbles, charcoal or coal, ash, clay, starch, or ice. The prevalence of pica is unclear. Among individuals with intellectual disability, the prevalence of pica appears to increase with the severity of the condition. The onset of pica can occur in childhood, adolescence, or adulthood, although childhood onset is most commonly reported. Pica occurs in both males and females. It can occur in females during pregnancy. What happens to the body of a person who is actually diagnosed with pica? Their body becomes malnourished, and there's also a decrease in activity of the dopamine system in the brain. Rumination disorder is an eating disorder in which a person brings back up and rechews partially digested food that has already been swallowed. The essential feature of the disorder is the repeated regurgitation of food occurring after feeding or eating over a period of at least 1 month. Previously swallowed food that may be partially digested is brought up into the repeated regurgitation should not be attributable to gastrointestinal or other medical condition. The onset of the disorder can occur in infancy, childhood, adolescence, or adulthood. Age of onset in infants usually occur between ages 3 to 12 months. This can be potentially fatal, particularly in infancy wherein weight loss and malnutrition are common features in infants with rumination disorder. Malnutrition might also occur in older children and adults when the regurgitation is accompanied by restriction of intake. Adolescents and adults may attempt to disguise the behavior by placing a hand over their mouth or coughing. Some will avoid eating with others because of the acknowledged social undesirability of the behavior. This may extend to an avoidance of eating prior to social situations such as work or school. Anorexia nervosa is an intense fear of gaining weight or of becoming fat, or persistent behavior that interferes with weight gain even though at a significantly low weight. There are 2 types of anorexia nervosa, the restricting type and the binge-eating purging type. In the restricting type, during the last 3 months, the individual has not engaged in a recurrent episodes of binge eating or purging behavior. This subtype describes presentation in which weight loss is accomplished primarily through dieting, fasting, or excessive exercise. In binge-eating purging type, during the last 3 months, the individual has engaged in recurrent episodes of binge eating or purging behavior. Don't confuse binge-eating purging type with bulimia nervosa. Although the 2 is actually very similar with self-induced vomiting or the misuse of laxatives, diuretics, or enemas, the 2 is actually very different when it comes to weight. There are 2 distinctions: in partial remission, in full remission. In partial remission, after full criteria for anorexia nervosa were previously met, criterion A has not been met for a sustained period, but either criterion B or criterion C is still met. In full remission, after full criteria for anorexia nervosa were previously met, none of the criteria have been met for a sustained period of time. Minimum level of severity is based for adults on current body mass index, or for children and adolescents on BMI percentiles.